Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Yakima JayLow J-Style Kayak Carrier here on our 2020 Toyota RAV4. Now this is going to be an excellent way of getting your kayaks or wherever your destination takes you. As you guys are going to see later on, you're going to get a great little premium kayak carry up on here. It's going to give you a lot of great features that you're really going to want for your kayak. And one thing I really like about it too, you're not going to be limited to only carrying one kayak. You can actually put two on this guy, which means you're just getting double for that buck, which is great for ourselves. Now right in the front here, you are seeing some nice little loading pads. I like how that actually is extended. Makes it really easy to get that weight of that kayak up on there and then just kind of push it over and get it set in that carrier position. You are also getting straps with it as well, so you're going to get straps right here in the middle, holding under kayak, putting that pressure into our carrier, as well as bow and stern straps to make sure that no gusts of wind is going to be damaging and pulling that kayak off of our carriers, of course. Now, I actually am a pretty big fan of these middle straps. As we break them down later, you can see how we have them put, but I just like how we actually have this nice rubber coating on our metal cam buckle. What that's great for, of course, is making sure that we're not damaging our kayak as we get it nice and tight on there. But also later on, as we go to dismount, you can see that sometimes accidents happen. That cam buckle can fall off, crash onto your roof, and cause a dent. But hopefully with that rubber there, we can really lessen that impact and not have any damage for ourselves. Now the bow and stern straps work extremely well for them as well, and we'll break that down here in just a second. One little thing with that, guys, as we mentioned, you can get two kayaks up on there. Right out of the gate, you're gonna get 80 pounds capacity for one kayak and 110 if you are gonna put two on there. Well, let's go ahead and see how exactly we have our straps in place. So we can go ahead and actually see how our bow and our stern straps are hooked in here today. So as you guys can see, we have a nice little plastic stripping there, making sure we're not rubbing up on our paint or making our fabric fray and causing us to get loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold this hood up. As you guys can see, we just have a little S-hook here holding us in. So that can be great of finding little points of contact. Now, luckily for us, the RAV4 has a lot of great hookup points for ourselves. Now, we did originally go here, but one thing to watch out for, don't want to be rubbing up on any of your components on the inside. So making it to where we're not going to have it interacting with the inside is definitely going to be beneficial. That way we don't damage anything. Now, one thing I will say with it though, this can always be kind of a slight little pain. If you're not quite liking that hooking up to your frame, there are bow and stern hood anchor adapters available here at etrailer.com. So now that we got the bow and stern strap removed, we can go ahead and take off our main holders here. So these straps, we've already kind of go over those rubbers, but also we can go ahead and see actually how that lever system works. So on the inside, we just simply press in. That's going to go ahead and allow those teeth to expose. So you can see to cinch it down, simply go, it'll hold. Press that and release it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this extra knot out. Now the one thing I will say with the strap, you can see pretty thick fabric. Actually getting this to hold in a concise manner can be kind of a pain, especially in that highway driving. You can see this kind of unfurling out in a way. A quick little ponytail can definitely help you, just something that can hold that on. Again though, if you guys are looking for a little bit of a better strap kit, the eTrailer Kayak Carrier strap kit comes with the nylon holders, just gives you a nice little hold on that fabric. However, definitely not going to be in the end of the world to go ahead and start maneuvering this. Let's go ahead and get this guy out. And let's also take note exactly how we have our straps in place. So you'll notice our one end with the cam buckle is hanging right here for easy purchase and to get that suited in for ourselves. And then our extra strap is going around our roof rack system. Now, we want that going around our roof rack, not our carrier, as we're gonna put extra pressure on our hold there. We're gonna go ahead, get underneath that base. Therefore, we're gonna stay nice and tight there for ourselves. And then we just simply come around, go back across that loop on the back side, coming across. And what that's doing, guys, is putting all the pressure of our strap into our carrier. We don't want anything pushing off of it. We want it all holding that kayak in. That way, we don't have any accidents as we get on the road. Well, let's go ahead and undo this. And one nice little thing you can do is just simply take your cam buckle side and pull this strap all the way through, and therefore it's out of your way, and we don't have that cam buckle crashing down when we go to take our kayak off. Now that we have our straps off, we actually can go ahead and take off our kayak. Now a couple little tricks with this, guys. As you can kind of see maybe on the side here, you're gonna have a little bit of a well where your kayak actually isn't gonna be. So what I like to do is to push it on the bottom. That's gonna rotate this kayak. Watch that camera there, buddy. don't want to bump you guys. And then that's way you can get all that weight right here. And now I'm only really balancing it. Most of that weight is still on the carrier itself. What that allows me to do, get a good firm hand on either side of my kayak, really makes that dismount that much easier. Now when we do go to mount it, one thing I'd like to say, we kind of talked about it earlier, I really like those loading pads, especially if you're just a little vertically challenged. It can be nice to get that weight on there and then shift it over. And that way it can really take that weight off of you and get it on your carrier and get your kayak in working order in no time. Now that we have our kayak off, we can go ahead and take a look at the carrier itself. Now you are going to get some nice little foam blockers here on that back mount. I really like these guys. They seem to be really well made. I like that they're smooth, so they're not going to be building up with any kind of water. No porous material for water to get into and be a real headache for us. And it also is just nice and soft, so you know it's going to do a good job of preventing any kind of damage to our kayak. Now it is going to be made of an aluminum here, so we're not going to be too worried about us actually having any kind of rust or corrosion adding up. Of course, you have that outer housing for the plastic. Now you do have a little bit of steel on the inside, so just keep in mind that is there, but it should be nice and concealed. Not going to have any kind of weather getting inside there, so it is going to be holding up. That pad here at the bottom has some nice little grooves in there, of course, and that can really help prevent your kayak from shifting once you actually have it set on there. Of course, it is also nice and rubbery, so we're not going to have any contact or any damage, I should say, on that contact with our kayak frames. We've already kind of gone over that loading pad, but again, just a little hard plastic there really makes it easy to go ahead and slot that guy up in place. Now we actually can go ahead and actually talk about how this guy is mounted. Now I think this is actually where it starts really standing out from a lot of the other kayak carriers you might see out there. A lot of times you just have a little hinge mount that just simply swings underneath your aero bar and then starts tightening with a hand knob. For us today, we just have these little side loaders. So all we have to do, clamp these guys on the side of our bars and start tightening down this knob here, and that's tightening that to our roof rack system. And one thing I really like about it, it seems to be well designed for aero bars. So luckily for us today, we also have those aero bars up on here, and that can be a huge benefit because they just seem to fit perfectly in there. Now they also do come with a not a square bar, but a round bar adapter as well, which makes it really easy to clamp onto there. Therefore, you can have that adapter to make sure you're doing well on there. With that locking core too on the very front, makes it really easy to make sure that this carrier stays attached to our vehicle when we leave it unattended. Now talking about roof rack systems with it and that locking core, one thing that can be nice is actually getting yourself a Yakima roof rack as well, because Yakima allows you to get your same key system. What that means, we can go ahead, take the keys that we would also utilize to lock our JayLow to our roof rack and also lock our roof rack, which can be nice. Therefore, you only have one key to actually worry about. One thing I like about this guy too, very, very easy to actually get this guy shifted into position. One thing with it, if you're looking at other kayak carriers, they are going to have an integrated teeth capability. What that allows you to do is kind of set it specifically for your kayak as well. Now the JayLow is going to be a little limited in what it can do. As you're going to see here, have that nice J-style position. You can bring it up straight into a vertical post, or you can bring it back down to go ahead and reduce that height. And however, you're not going to be able to clamp almost anywhere as easy as you would as those integrated systems, as you are going to have fixed positions at each point, and they just aren't going to be as easy to use, but you're still going to have an easy time, I think, getting up there. Of course, you are going to have that vertical posting for both of your kayaks as they get on here, and that's really easy to use just by getting it straight up for ourselves. Well, we're going to go ahead and break down some of our dimensions real quick. Let's look at it in the J-style position. From the top of our roof rack to the very top of our carrier here, looks like it's going to be putting us right under 18 inches, so about 17 3/4 there to the very end. As you guys can see, let's see it in the vertical position as if we were to carry two kayaks, which is going to be our highest, right under 19 there, so about 18 7/8 of an inch to the very top. And with it all the way folded down, looks like our highest point is going to be our carrier right there, the top of our carrier. Trying to give me a little horizontal look. Looks like we're going to be right over 4 inches there, guys. So pretty much right there at 4, definitely not adding too much height. Now keep in mind, that can be a little dependent on which kind of roof rack system you have. For us today, our Rhino rack's not adding too much height. So keep in mind, if you're worried about pulling this in the garage, you're only adding about 4 inches plus your roof rack system. So be sure to check that with whatever you guys have at home. Well guys, as you saw, that installation doesn't take any time at all, and I'm a really big fan of those mounts, not only because they're easy to use, but you actually can take advantage of leaving them on there. So you're getting that folding capability, and a lot of the other carriers have that, but but you just don't have a locking core on there. So it kind of defeats the purpose. It's nice, of course, pulling in the garage, but when you're at your destination, you have to pull it off every time, which can be annoying. So this way, we can go ahead, have that locking core in place, which is sold separately. However, you can get that key to like in no time, and therefore, we can go ahead and make sure that our carrier stays on top of our vehicle when we leave it unattended. Of course, the JayLow is going to do a great little job for yourself of getting your kayaks to wherever you want to go. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for our look at the Yakima JayLow Kayak Carrier here on our 2020 Toyota RAV4. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.